Good afternoon from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers. I just finished closing up our deer fence. We are complete now. The last gate is done. We are done. So it is April 10th. It's the day after Easter. There are two things we wait for in the spring to know when it is time for us to start planting. One of them is the pecan trees. This is not a pecan behind me. It is a type of nut that is related to a pecan. I don't know exactly which one because there's a lot of native nut trees around. But when that dude leafed out and when the pecans at our market started leafing out, that was a good indication that spring was coming. But yesterday was Easter. There's always that last cold snap right at Easter, and we wait for that before we start putting our summer things in the ground. So some years we get to plant earlier than other years. This year we're a little bit later than we were last year. Last year Easter came earlier. So we are out at the farm today. We will be a lot this week. Right now Brandon is putting out fertilizer, and then he will be disking that in, and then we will be putting in plastic beds. There's a lot to do. Currently the kids are pulling weeds in the potato patch, and we're working on all of these steps so that we can be ready to put plants in the ground Wednesday. And then we're hoping for some rain Friday morning or Sunday. We don't really want it Friday afternoon or Saturday because we have markets at that time. But that's where we are right now. Brandon has the whole field ready behind us. I'll show you that in a minute, but we are getting ready for planting time. All right, so our deer fence is completed. That was the last gate that I had to do right there. And it's currently turned off since I was just working on it, but it has been running really hot. We did see two young deer in here, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. Last year, there was a mom and her two fawns that hung out, and I think it was those two fawns because they'd be kicked off about now, and they were young and kind of silly, but they were back in these woods, and we scared them out, and one took off that way and one took off that way, and they ducked under the fence at a time when it wasn't on. But we have not seen any more tracks or evidence of their activities in here, so we think we got them all out now. And now this is getting ready for plants. So Brandon's been through all of this with the fertilizer so far. If you'll remember, this is the part that we were burning massive brush piles on when it started to rain again last fall, because all of this was trees. And so we had some washing situations where it was coming through here. Brandon has built these terraces for us. There's 3 of them going down, and those are working great. Eventually this one, well, this one for sure, but those as well, will be planted with some low-growing native grasses. This one is made to be driven on. Those will just be the grasses and the water slowing down there with that terrace. In the back over there, you can see the weeds still growing. That will be stuff that we'll be planting later in the season, but this will get us all of our squash and tomatoes and stuff started. All right, this is our potato patch. The kids are currently pulling some weeds in there. This is Rusty the tractor. This is I think it's a 1949 Farmall C, and it needs so much work. This is the one we normally cultivate with, but it is not running right now. So we've got the kiddos cultivating today, and they're working on pulling some weeds. But overall, the potatoes are looking great. If you'll remember, we cut our potatoes up like extra small this year to stretch them, and you can see they are still doing just fine. And we are looking forward to a really huge potato harvest in a few weeks. So that's where we sit right now, getting everything ready for the summer garden to start to go in. I feel like I always talk really fast on these videos, and I don't know why I do that, but if I ever mention something and you're not sure what I'm talking about, or you want me to clarify it better, just drop us a comment and we will see if we can clarify what I was talking about and make it make more sense for you, because we want you to learn from our videos. So if I'm ever not making sense, just drop a comment and let me know. So this is exciting. This potato has buds. So our potatoes, because they kind of got planted at a little bit various Depths, not so much from us, mostly because right after we planted it, it rained and the top part washed and they got buried deeper. So we almost have like staged plantings through here. Like this row is pretty far ahead. This one, these are looking good. And then you have those up there where some of them are still just now coming up. But blooms are a good sign because the potatoes bloom and continue to grow, and then later those plants will die off, and that's when we know it's time to harvest. However, it looks like we're going to have to do some spraying. That is a larva. Let me see if I can find an adult. We have, I believe they're called Colorado potato beetles. I think that's the right name for them. Let me see. I've been seeing them all along, and of course now that I'm looking, I won't find one. There's one right there that I've already mushed. So it's these stripy guys here. Sorry, dude. But those eat the leaves. They do quite a bit of damage, and we have a lot of them. So Brandon's going to go ahead and spray those, and he will be careful what time of day he sprays. We don't have a whole lot of pollinators in the potatoes right now. There's another one right there. There's no flowers in the potatoes right now, but some of the other things around are blooming, and so he'll spray probably late at night when most of the pollinators are sort of, or not late at night, but later in the evening when the pollinators are a little less active, and he will be careful to only spray on the potatoes versus on all of these other flowering plants around where we want those pollinators. Okay, day 2, prepping the garden for planting. I had to leave a little bit early yesterday, so I didn't get videos of all the processes. But what happened was Brandon finished putting out fertilizer, and he got the tractor and he disked everything, and then they started making the beds. So this is using the plastic mulch layer. We're putting white side up so it doesn't get as hot during the summer. Supposedly that can also help with bug pressure. We're going to see if that's true or not. But he started on those, just kind of getting it set up. And then we have all the rest of this space through here to also get beds in. Hopefully we'll be able to get to that today and get most of those in so that tomorrow we can be planting. While we're sitting here sort of surveying the work for the day, we noticed something right there. It has rained since our fence was completed, and it appears that there is either a deer that has already figured out the fence, or what we're hoping for is a deer that is hiding in this chunk. So what we'll do is we'll do some walking around through there, beating the bushes, so to speak, and see if we could scare the critter out and hopefully get it out of here and keep it out of here. Again, these are some young ones that grew up kind of in this area last year, and we're thinking maybe they're just not sure what's going on and they've gotten themselves trapped in here. Kind of hoping that's the situation and that we'll be able to get them scared out of here and not have problems again. All right, we're beating the bushes in the woods, and we came across this shy fern. I don't know how many of you have ever seen this. I think they're cool, so I'm going to show them to you. So they react to touch, and they close up. Kind of cool. This is actually a pretty big one, so it trails from over here. There's the center of the plant, and it goes off that way as well. Several of them through here. Sort of neat. Just a little something cool that we found out here. Alrighty, Skeeter helped Brandon with this chore yesterday, so he kind of knows what we're doing. Brandon got tied up on a different job this afternoon, and so we are trying to get started with our mulch laying on our own. Looks like I need to go help him run the shovel. So what we're doing in this space is we're doing plastic mulch and then an empty row and then plastic mulch. And we're doing that just kind of mostly as an experiment to see how they do mulch compared to not mulched. Skeeter is helping me get everything lined up here, and then I will just slowly drive down the row and we will get this stretched.
So today, instead of Dad running the tractor, it's Mom. And I'm quite an impressed that we got one nice, neat row done. Now, Mom had to back up to be able to get this far to get rows in privilege because we had a dirt mound behind us. So that was fun. Very, very fun. But everything's going smooth. Wonderful. Everything's going according to plan so far. I won't guarantee you it's all going to go to plan, but I'm pretty sure it is. This seems to be going on forever. Finally, the end. So now that Mom's got on the end, she's gonna put it in park. That nice, neat rows. I'm gonna have to come back with the shovel and fill in the gaps, like right here. But overall, it's pretty good. Got nice, neat, straight rows, dirt and plastic. These three right through here, me and Dad did yesterday. So yeah. Even though having days, we might have days working on this, but we hope to get plants in by Wednesday, and so far everything's going good.
Alrighty, I think this is about where we're going to have to call it for the day, so we can get home and feed and eat for ourselves and all that good stuff. We have, I believe we ended with 7 or 8 rows in that chunk, and I think we'll end with 4 here. Not sure we have enough room for one more. So far, no issues with the machine. A couple of little adjustments here and there, but all of that is to be expected. So I think we are about ready to start putting plants in the ground tomorrow. Probably what we'll do is call it a night here, and then in the morning the kids and I will start planting while Brandon and one of the kids works on finishing those bits up. So that's what we have going on. That's how we have prepared the ground for planting, and I will show you all the planting when we get that done. So all of this was trees a year ago. Some of it had been shoved down, pushed down by this time, but it was just all in giant brush piles through here. We got those burned over the summer, and we have more than doubled the space that we were gardening in last year. You might have noticed that we were putting drip tape in these. Our well that we attempted to dig last year, we did hit water. However, the equipment that we had was not able to get deep enough to get water out. But we're looking at a couple of other options to hopefully get to irrigate at some point this summer. So no, we're not irrigating yet, but that is going in there because we are working on faith that at some point this summer we will be able to water. That is the goal. But anyways, so the land was cleared. last year. It was dozed several times to get it smooth, put in a few terraces to keep washing at a minimum, fertilized, disked, and now we have put in the beds, and it is ready for planting tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed your 2-day visit to the farm. Hope you learned something, and I hope you will come back when you can stay longer.